Welcome, my family. So excited about this one today. 5 tips to improve the lives of any empath out there, which is most of the people watching, most of the Galactic Tarot community. Let's just get right on into it today, my family. I grew up my entire life as an empath, figuring this out. What does empath even mean? Empath means you're feeling the feelings of others, you're feeling the thoughts of others, you have a heightened sense of intuition. This heightened sense of intuition can affect the beating of the heart and a lot of the feelings in the body. So, without further ado, let's get right on into number one of my favorites as a crystal alchemist: gemstones and crystals. So the 3 that I found that help any empath the most, which you can just carry a tumbled stone with you, you can get some form of beaded bracelet, don't know where you'd find one of those, would be bronzite, number one, out of number one. So I'll say A, bronzite. Bronzite's going to get any negative energy that's sent to you and bounce it back to where it came from. It's also a lodestone, which means that if you put a magnet on it, a magnet will stick to it. So having, the planet be magnetic in nature, your body be magnetic in nature. These are some of my favorite stones, are the stones that can be and are ferromagnetic, which means they become more magnetic when they are touched by magnets. Aside from the fact, like I said, any negativity sent to you, you know it's going to go back where it came from. This is going to give you more of a, like, hold on, I have this on my body, I need to be good. It's also going to let you feel and believe how much stronger your field is because you have it. These are manifestations. These are the law of attraction. So whether or not that crystal does that, if you believe that crystal does that, then that crystal absolutely positively does that for you. Crystal number B, green aventurine. Oh my God, one of my favorites. This is straight up says it's for energy vampires. So this will help to prevent energy vampires from being able to drain your energy from you in the first place. So, what I always say, if the green aventurine doesn't help, you didn't have enough green aventurine. Totally joking. We're going to get into number 5. Let's stay tuned until number 5. That's where it's going to get real good. So number 3, letter C, golden obsidian. Golden obsidian I love. It's a volcanic glass. So it's a quartz that was made by the planet. I just love this, like dirts and all these substances and crystals being melted down to this black substance that has this golden sheen inside of it. So golden obsidian is said to help prevent others from projecting their agenda upon you. So these are all things, if you follow the theme of bronzite, that's for projections and thoughts. The obsidian now, golden obsidian specifically, is for projections from others. And then the green aventurine is for people actually draining you. Now, mind you, I think all of these can be tools that we have on our energy belt, but these should not be the end all be all for anybody. So without further ado, let's now get into number 2, which is, I have my notes right here if you're wondering where I'm looking. Grounding. This is so important. I want to get right into the why. For years, for most of my intuitive life, I walked around not in my body, like up in the etheric, up in the astral, sitting on top of my field. If you picture the field like a sphere, I was sitting on the field. Here's me, and my legs were dangling into my auric field. It was almost like I was controlling my physical body like a puppet master from way up there, because it hurt. Like, I get it. I've been there. It's to feel people's pains and to have your heart racing all day and to feel the way that we do feel, being empaths, being these high-level empaths that so many of you are watching this. This is just something that I did by way of survival, plain and simple. So I believe many of you are doing this right now because I talk to you on the phone. I do my tarot sessions, my monthly sessions, and I hear a lot of people are asking me these questions. How did you ground? How did you decide you wanted to ground? First of all, that was a very difficult navigation. Anybody that was a gifted healer that told me I needed to ground, told me like, hey, your energy's like not even in your feet. I didn't want to do it. I would actually like just become very, very resistant. Quick little caveat: when you become very resistant, that's usually an identifier of where you want to look. You want to look where that resistance is first off, and that was what I did. I was fortunate enough to be able to do that. So we know why you're disconnected now. If you're disconnected because it's easier. It's easier to be up there. Do you still feel? Does this physical vessel still absorb things from others that we love like a sponge? Yes, it does. So we know the why. We know the why because you came here to do this and you're a superhero having a physical experience. And we know the why you were disconnected. Why do we want to ground our essence? When we ground our essence, when our feet are in our feet, and our energy is in our energy, I've seen drastic improvements in my own life, my physical life, my love life, my financial life. It's the list is very long. That could be a whole video in and of itself, which probably should happen. The importance of grounding. I will just tell you this. Let's just sum it up as easy as possible. If you're not grounding your essence, how do you ground the essence of the angelics that you came here to embody, your archetypal frequency for your family, for your lover, for your people around you, your friends and family? How do you ground your essence and the essence of the angelics if you're not grounded? So right there, we're just going to go right on into number 3, paying attention. How's paying attention help an empath? Let me explain this to you. Who's showing up when you are full of energy? You're doing stuff, you're crushing, you're working, you're sitting here, you're making a video, whatever it is. You're having one of those days where you're like, boom, the pen's moving, your fingers are tapping on the keys, you're creating, you're crushing. And someone just shows up at the house. Somebody just shows up in the field. Somebody creates a fight. When we see these things happening, now mind you, like once again, here's another like quick number 3 that could be a whole nother video. When we see these things happening, there's ways to navigate this. The best way I have found to navigate this is to observe. It's not to get mad. It's not to protect. It's not to, because I mean, it used to be like, I got an angel on the shoulders and in the front and this over there and that's underneath me and I got this and I got that. And that was all great. And it very much did protect me. And you look here on the channel, I get the Saint Germain's prayer. There are a lot of tools for an empath to shield themselves. But as I've learned, like I said, stay tuned till number 5. As I've learned to get to the point that I'm at, one of the biggest things I had to do was just notice and pay attention and see who shows up when I'm at my best and who never shows up or never calls me, never checks in when I'm having trouble getting moving that day. The solar flares have me messed up, or like I actually have the feeling or the want to reach out to somebody. I think that they have what would help me that day and they're not available. So I just wanted you to pay attention to this because some empaths can really, and by some, I mean the majority, just wording it in a nice way to not have it manifest even stronger before that and better. Most empaths are going to get the opportunity in the test to see if they're going to get taken advantage of by people. So just notice this. I used to say, oh, cut the weights off the balloon, get rid of these people. Now I just want you to notice. I want you to observe. For you to do the alchemy that you can do, then we need to be observing. We need to be watching as a multidimensional being. Number 4, how could I even have to look down and check? The fabric, the frequency of fabric. So number 4 is the frequency of fabric. And this is going to have just 2 parts. One, they've done tons of studies on linen. That's all I want on my body. I keep just like buying more linen from overseas. It feels so good. I get my hood. I put my hood on. I'm not even feeling EMFs like the Wi-Fi. It really helps with a lot. This is like the fabric form of shungite to me. It also helps me with navigating other people's energies, is what I've noticed. But what I noticed first was cotton, real cotton. A lot of these fabrics that are out they're poison. They're poison. Some of my favorite shirts I used to wear while I was live, I used to wear when I'd go out. I would notice like the second I got home, I'd be like, oh, get it off. The second I'd finish on camera, I'd be like, oh, get it off. And it was like I was promoting like wearing these fabrics that were poison in my body. And I would almost guarantee one of you out there right now is wearing something and you're like, oh my God, he's talking about this fake plastic material shirt or underwear that I'm wearing. If we don't have, like I said, like picture like our whole body is like Batman's tool belt. If we're not having the right things on the tool belt as a normal human being to go fight supervillains, which is not what we're actually doing, but like I said, if we're not properly preparing ourselves, we can't be like, oh, who did this? How did this happen? How did the water get inside the house when we had the water running and the drains clogged and all the windows open? We have to be paying attention to what we're doing. So the fabric and the frequency of the fabric is something I noticed when I just got this first linen piece in, and I was just like, what is even happening to me? Friend of the channel, Sherry, sent me this frequency chart, and it talked about linen, and it talked about cashmere, which is like highly activated wool, which I like. Cashmere does not do what linen does for me. We're all different. You test it out. You test your fabrics. But she sent me this thing that said that organic cotton was 100. And if organic cotton's at a number 100, then linen is at a 5,000. And I was like, I felt this. I felt like an unstoppable force when I had this high grade linen on my body. And I know some people say, but it wrinkles, Alexander. That's OCD. Let's get over that. That'll be another video. So we went over the frequency of fabric. Let's go over the color really quick. I have these pants that I don't need to wear anymore. They're old now, but they were like, I don't know, they looked like the pants that you'd go to buy drugs at a festival. And I loved these pants because they had teal and magenta and gold and orange, and like they were black. Some of you might remember them that have been watching the channel. They were just solid black harem pants, and then they were mixed together like teals, greens, yellow, like the whole rainbow. And I used to tell people, if I have these pants on, something's going down. Like that means I'm wanting to really shield myself. So why am I explaining all this to you? If the color is in our bubble, if the color is in our torsion field, then that color now, through these certain chants, ohms, belief structures, gemstones, this assists us with already having the color in our field. And I've noticed so much protection, so much amplification of me being able to be me, because most empaths will, and I'll say before that and better after this, most empaths will act a certain way around certain people that have a really dominating energy to not be drained by them. And this was something else that I had to navigate. I got to navigate over the past few years. So if you're noticing that this is happening, if you're noticing that you're doing this and you don't have any linen right now, what's like something colorful? A lot of this like judgment, and it's like, I know I just happen to be wearing black today, but it is linen. The more colorful something is, I've noticed it really, really shields me. So if you're having a day, the solar flares, this thing, that thing, having a time, whatever's your most colorful clothing. Number 5, this is what we were all coming for. This is the big one. This is what this all like was like. This could be the whole video. Everything else is an afterthought of how I got to here. Number 5, being an alchemist, being a mental alchemist, being a crystal alchemist, being a thought and energy alchemist and an empath has gotten me to the most powerful stage I've ever been at in my life. To feel somebody's pain before. Let me go back to circa 2011, 2013. I'd feel somebody's pain come in. This is when I knew I was an empath, and I noticed what was happening finally, because before that, I just like asked spirit, and I'd look back, and like I was just blindly walking around with people's pains for sometimes 6 months, a year and a half. I'm going to the chiropractor to get something fixed that wasn't even mine because I didn't even know how to identify it yet. That was all part of my path. I'm not saying that from victim mentality. That was something that maybe you at home need to be like, oh my God, he's talking about me. Here's how you really navigate it. This is the goal. The goal is getting yourself to the powerful state that you can go, no. Don't come to me with a little bit of it. If you're going to come to me with a little bit of it, I want all of it. I want all of it. So I had a day, I'm in the gym, and I felt this brother's pain. He's on the bench press. He's not even doing legs. I'm sitting there warming up for squats. I feel great. Like I'm like on top of my day. I've already done my cold plunge, all the things. And my left knee starts to pulsate. And I go, what is this? And I tune in and I follow it. I follow it to the address that is this brother. And I go, oh, okay. And instantly I got back to my old version. Instantly I went like by rule of habit or whatnot. I went, oh, not today. It's leg day, this and that. My angelic comes in. She's like, oh, pay attention. I'm like, oh yeah, hold on a second. And I go, wait a minute. Yeah, that's right. Don't give me some of it. I want all of it. Give me all your knee pain. So I sat down and my knee started to go boom, boom, boom. I could literally feel it with his pain pulsating. And I basically looked at the knee pain. I pulled it inside of myself. I observed it. And then I said, this is unworthy energy. How do I turn this to worthiness? That is what alchemy is. Getting coal and turning it into a diamond. Getting pain that isn't real pain. Because if you're feeling as an empath, if you're feeling somebody's pain, because some of you might say in the comments, and I can't wait to see what you guys have to comment on this. Keep in mind, I'm letting you know about my process. And if one little part or all of this helps you, then so be it. I'm letting you know about my process to get where I've gotten. And I do know we're all different. So some of these things might work for you. I think they all will work for you, but I'm not sure because I'm not you. But when we feel somebody's pain, it's because it's not real. It's not something like they just got like a cut or something, like something that's like throbbing in that manner. We're feeling the thoughts that are causing issues in the body. If the mind is causing an issue, and this issue is to have them pay attention, and they're supposed to pay attention so they stop thinking this thing, because this thought long-term is cancerous, then us as empaths, this is why we come through to help in this way. So I, like a sponge, pulled all of his knee pain in, and I set a new max on my leg workout that day. The pain went away. I turned it into power. I turned it into strength. I turned it into testosterone. I turned it into everything that to me in that moment was worthiness. So if you're needing more financial abundance, if you're needing more, whatever it is, you're needing more love, you're wanting to see more love, because love is already all around you, mind you. But as we go through these masteries, my family, this is my truth right now. Was this my truth before? Some people might hear that and be like, Alexander, that sounds vampiric. Oh, okay, well then so be it. To be vampiric with people's pains, that the only reason that I know that I'm feeling it is because of the fact that he doesn't want to be feeling it. He doesn't want to be feeling it. And I haven't seen this brother like really like do like a leg workout in a while. And it's always upper body. So we don't know how much that assisted him. And I know that there is this like afterthought of like, if you take this away, then the person might still be thinking that thought. To give somebody temporary relief and trust them and trust their process. Because like for me, like I said, I got to look at it with innocence. This is one of the greatest things I can give you here at the channel, is to look at things with innocence. So to take away that belief structure of like, I'm doing this. And no, I'm improving this person's day in a way that they can now breathe. Their energy can now breathe. If they're going to keep thinking that thought, then that pain will come back. If that's their journey, if their journey is to keep thinking that thought and having that pain in their leg, the pain will come back. If that was their journey, I would have never even felt the pain as an empath. This is how I've fine-tuned my reality. This is how I've fine-tuned my energy before I hear any comments like that. Because trust me, I've worked with a lot of empaths talking about their process and mine. because this is something that we're all going to continue to navigate. And I might come back to you in 6 months or 6 years and tell you, here's my process now. This is my process on this early in July 2023. I want to just make one quick honorable mention. I already talked about it in the one of my recent videos. Which one was that? How to clear. But not only how to clear, there's to go back to cold plunging. This is like the honorable mention. Cold water is going to give you the ability. This has been proven by doctors and scientists and all this stuff, to actually help combat anxiety. Now, I'm not talking to the most anxious person out there that is avidly working on transmuting this and dissolving these energies. Or maybe I am. There should be some level of help. There should be some level of like, this is like a natural drug to me. Like, I'm having days where I don't want to do it. Spirit's like, get up, go. 12:30 in the, it's like 12:30 a.m. I'm tired. I could easily just fall asleep. And they're like, your dream time would be better if you go hit the creek. Your dream time would be better. Your workout would be better if you go hit your brother's cold plunge pool at 36 degrees. It doesn't really need to be colder than 44 or 46, mind you, but in 3 minutes. But if we're hitting 2 to 3 minutes of 46 degrees, 48 degrees, 44 degrees, if you find your window, and I know like people get so upset when I bring up the cold water, it works for me. I'm letting you know it works for me. If people contact me and they go, Alexander, what do I do? How do I do that? And I tell them, and they go, yeah, I heard you say that in the video and I never tried it. It's like, I'm almost just like, what are we doing here? I'm letting you know that I see a lot of people that navigate anxiety more often than I do. But when I am navigating anxiety, cold water is the best. This is much better than drugs or alcohol or anything else. Nothing else. And all that stuff had to be removed because, I mean, I'm a firm believer, like the next day after drinking and after certain substances that people are still considering medicines for them, and they might be medicines in that present moment. I believe that's another thing, is really cleaning up the body, detoxing the body. It's traumatic. It is. It was a traumatic, smelly, sweaty process, but I did it. I did it. So that was it. That was 5 tips for any empath. And I love you all so much. I hope this helps. I can't wait to see what you have to say in the comment feed. I hope this video helped you. There are so many more videos that will be coming. We got the live broadcasts every 1st and 15th. And what's coming up next is me telling you that I love you. There should be other videos in these areas. If you want to watch them, I would really appreciate if you gently caress the like button, the subscribe button. And thank you for being here today. Cheers, my family. Love you so much.